Cannot tell you how many people tell me they don't use sunscreen all throughout winter. I'm like, do you not see the light in the sky? Those are red. Hi everybody, welcome back to Project Happy Home. If you're new here, I'm Tanya, a former doctor lawyer turned homeschool mom of 3 kids ages 9, 6, and 4. If you're interested in videos about secular homeschooling, raising a child with ADHD, and living a more essentialist lifestyle in general, you've come to the right place. Around once a month or so, I do a product empties video where I go over some of the things I've been using mainly for skincare, but also some makeup and hair products thrown in that I think have been benefiting me, and I throw in my opinion as a former physician about different ingredients and why or why not they may be useful for your skin. So just to get into it, this month I have a couple of hair things and a bunch of skincare things. If you've watched these videos in the past, you know that I basically focus on skincare because I'm not really a makeup or hair care junkie, but I am definitely a skincare junkie. This year, these product empty videos will be a little bit different because I'm trying to stay true to a no-buy year. And if you want to know more about that, I'll link it up above and down below in the description box. But I'm trying not to buy anything that is not essential. So if I have a body moisturizer already, I'm trying to use it up before I buy another one. Same thing with facial moisturizers and any one particular category of things. When I say that I'm having an essentialist year with skincare, it's a little bit tricky for me because I really do believe that different types of products offer different benefits for your skin. That being said, there are a lot of products that are just basically marketing and hype and don't do very much for your skin at all that we all kind of sometimes buy just for fun. And I'm trying not to do that at all this year. So with that caveat aside, I am just going to pick things randomly from my bin of empties and share with you what I've been finding. First up is this Caudalie spray, and this is a grape water spray that soothes and moisturizes. It's in this like metal aerosol can, and I don't know if I have any left. Oh, I do. See, you can see it kind of misting out. I don't know if you can, but it missed out. It's very soothing. I'm actually going to mist my face, just for funsies. I don't typically use mists or anything. This came as one of those gift sets you could get with points from Sephora, and you know, I would never buy this. Like, I don't recommend this. I think it's a nice, luxurious little water in a spray can kind of deal. I think that grapes in general have antioxidant properties, and ingredients from grape seeds and things like that have been shown to be helpful in reducing scar formation and just good for the skin. There have been some isolated studies showing that. That being said, I mean, this is grape water in a can, like, and it's expensive. I don't know what the price is, but for grape water in a can, I think it's pretty expensive. And I don't really believe in many mists and things like that. I think refreshing your face and refreshing the moisture on your face throughout a day can be useful. If you have extra cash to burn, I don't think this is gonna hurt you. I think it can hurt you if you spray it on your face and then you don't follow with any kind of like moisturizer, you don't have an occlusive layer on your skin to protect you. And I don't think it's a good idea to just run around spraying water on your face without putting moisturizer on it after. But it is very refreshing. It's very nice. It's non-irritating. If you have extra money to burn, like I said, it's a nice, fun little product, but I would not recommend it. I think it's a waste of money. That's my bottom line on that. But super fun. And I felt really fancy whenever I did it because I was like, oh, look, I'm misting my face. But I mean, that's all it does. Next is an oldie but a goodie. I mean, you guys, I like to stay true to what works. I think you're gonna see this from me pretty much in every, if not every other product empties videos. This is the Neutrogena Hydra Boost Gel Cream for extra dry skin. The reason I recommend the extra dry skin one is because it does not have fragrance. A lot of Neutrogena products have a lot of great ingredients, but they also contain a lot of fragrance. So if you look for their extra dry skin products, sometimes you can avoid the fragrance. I've talked about this many times, so I don't want to beat a dead horse, but the Neutrogena Hydra Boost, the main ingredient in it is hyaluronic acid. Hyaluronic acid is a great humectant. A humectant is one type of moisturizing ingredient that basically pulls water from everywhere towards wherever it is. So if you put this humectant cream on your face, what the hyaluronic acid in it will do is pull the water from the bottom layers of your skin towards it, and also from the atmosphere towards it. So the surrounding air in your environment. And so it'll collect it there and it'll plump up the outer layers of your skin a little bit. However, as it's pulling this water from the inner layers of your skin, it will also go out, especially if you're in a very arid climate like Arizona or something like that. And so you always want to follow up with a layer of occlusive moisturizer on top, so you lock in that moisture. So you create a little shield so the moisture comes up to where you put the hyaluronic acid and it doesn't just evaporate into the air. I love these. I alternate with Hada Labos, and you've probably seen that in a lot of my product empty videos as well. So I won't go on and on about it, but I do think it's a great step in your skincare. The way to use it is to wet your face while your face is still damp. Go ahead and put a pea-sized amount of this on. It has this very thick kind of like gelatinous consistency. It's not as thick as, for example, Aquaphor or heavy moisturizer, but it's not as thin as a serum. It's somewhere in between. Go ahead and put that on, give it a second, and then follow with an occlusive moisturizer layer. Hopefully, if it's in the daytime, one with sunscreen. I use this every single time I wash my face, in the morning and at night, before following up with a heavier moisturizer. So next up is a dry shampoo. This is the Dove Refresh and Care Volume and Fullness Dry Shampoo. You guys, I did not care for this at all. It has a very, very white finish. It is not good for those of us with dark hair, and I don't recommend it. Thank you, by the way, to the commenter who commented in response to my last Product Empties video that Batiste does make an even darker dry shampoo than the brunette one that I had reviewed, which I thought was a little bit too light as well. And they said to try out the Divine Dark. So that will be the next dry shampoo that I am trying out. I made the mistake, however, of buying this in a 3-pack from box.com, and honestly, I shouldn't have done that because I had never tried it before. I thought this was one of the worst dry shampoos I'd ever used. Not only was it way too white for a brunette's type of hair coloring, because I mean, you can get real Elvira streaks with this. This is like perfect for Halloween. It also is just not effective. Like I typically, the way I use dry shampoo is I will put it on, I'll part my hair and spray it onto my roots in various sections of my hair, and then just go to sleep in it. Like I don't brush it out or anything. And then in the morning, it's sort of done its job. It's sopped up a lot of those oils, and then I like floof my hair out and let it fall out. But this did not do that well. This would keep like white streaky parts in my hair, and I didn't like that at all. So if you're brunette, I would say stay away from this one. You know, it has good reviews online. I don't know who these people are. Maybe they have different like consistency of hair. Maybe it would work really well if you are a blonde with like very fine hair. Maybe? I don't know. I didn't like it at all. If you have hair like mine, don't do it. Next up is the Laneige Lip Sleeping Mask. Now, I had mentioned this in one of my favorites videos in the past as a ride or die. And you know what? I still think it is. I really love it. There is one problem with it though, and that is that it is fragranced. And it also has a very kind of berry fragrance, berry taste. See if you can see on my finger here. It has this nice occlusive consistency. It is really nice actually, even on your cuticles and your nails. Usually when I put it on my lips, I finish off with just rubbing the excess on my nails, and it does a good job of being a cuticle protectant as well. It is very highly fragranced, and as I said before, fragrance can be somewhat irritating, especially if you have sensitive skin. I do have sensitive skin, and if I let this spread beyond the edges of my lips, sometimes I will get a little tiny little bumps, tiny little red bumps that go away within a few hours in the morning, but still, I like to stay away from products that do that. However, I have yet to find something that keeps my lips as moisturized as this thing overnight. When you wake up in the morning after putting this on last thing at night, your lips are still moisturized. Like you can still feel product on them, which I have never experienced before, not with Aquaphor, not with Vaseline, not with any of those thicker emollient lip balms. This is fairly expensive for a lip product. I got mine from Sephora, but I wrote on the bottom when I started using it, it was in mid-April 2018. So this lasted me 10 months. And for 10 months, I think that's a really good value for any kind of product. I will link it down below in the description box so you'll be able to tell what the price is. I'm sorry, off the top of my head, I can't remember. But I love this. I will be repurchasing it. I don't know of another lip product that does as good of a job at keeping my lips moist overnight. If you guys have a favorite, let me know, especially if it's unfragranced. Because if I can find one as good as this that doesn't have a fragrance, I will switch. Another empty is my liquid biotin. Now I use the SBR Nutrition brand. I get it on Subscribe and Save from Amazon. I have noticed an actual difference in my hair since using this. I think the thing with vitamins is that you need to find the form that works for you. And by that I mean not only in terms of bioavailability of the ingredient, but also whether or not you will use it. I am not a pill taker. I have tried to take vitamins via pill form. I fail miserably. Like sometimes I'll take it, sometimes I won't. I'm trying to get better and grow up about that, but I just forget. What I love about the liquid supplements is that I keep it right at my bathroom counter where my toothbrush is. And before I brush my teeth in the morning, I go ahead and take my Biotin and my vitamin D drops. And that way I know that I've done it. It's right there for me. I'm very consistent with it. And since I've been doing this, I have noticed an actual difference in the amount of hair that I lose. Female pattern baldness runs in our family, and I have been like losing my hair over the last like 20 years, honestly, gradually. And I think biotin actually does make a difference. Research is mixed on it, honestly. There are some studies that have shown that it helps with reducing hair loss and other studies that don't show any effect versus placebo. In my particular case, I have noticed a difference, so I will continue. The dosing on this is half a dropper full is 5,000 micrograms. If you've been experiencing hair loss, they recommend up to 10,000 micrograms a day. So what I do is I take one full dropper of this every single day, and I've noticed a difference. So if you want to try out something, again, I'll link it down below. Another product, empty, is the Calendula Salve from Andreas Organic Market. I bought this off of Etsy. I experienced a very severe 2nd and 3rd degree burn over the holidays, and it was ginormous, and that's why I went through the entire container quite quickly. After the skin sort of healed over, I started immediately using a Calendula Salve because calendula has been noted to be very, very good for the skin in terms of reducing transepidermal water loss and just in its skin restorative properties. A lot of people with eczema and rashes and things like that have good experiences with calendula. I used to make my own Calendula Balm for the kids when they had diaper rashes and things like that, and I noticed really significant benefits. I would make calendula lotion bars and things like that. I actually saved 1 jar of calendula oil from our move, from a jar that I had infused with calendula, and now I'm just using this. While the skin was more fragile and I thought needed a little bit more TLC, I wanted to have a salve and I just didn't have time to make my own. I really did like this. I will link it down below with a link to Andreas Organic Market Etsy store. I love supporting small business when I can. I have noticed that the calendula balms that are made by local retailers and like Etsy stores and independent you know, manufacturers of products like this tend to be much higher in quality than what you can find from a big box company. If you're trying to make a calendula balm, it's really easy to find recipes online to do it. You can buy the actual calendula flowers and then steep the oil and go ahead and make the balm with a combination of beeswax and some sort of heavier thing like shea butter. But if you want to go ahead and try out whether it's effective for you, Etsy has a lot of good sellers. This one is a brand that I can recommend. Another empty is this Nourish Organic Rejuvenating Rose Butter. This is a shea butter moisturizer. It is incredibly thick, and I was really impressed with it. Initially, I was a little bit thrown off by the fact that it was so incredibly firm, really like a block of shea butter. Shea butter as a moisturizer is a really good natural moisturizer because it is so occlusive. There are a lot of natural oils and things marketed as just moisturizers that will not be an effective moisturizer on their own because they work more as an emollient, meaning they smooth the skin cells and they give you this glow and sheen, but they don't actually lock in water in your skin. So if you're only using a lighter type of oil on your skin as a moisturizer, that's probably a bad idea. You need something to lock that in, you know? An emollient is a really good layer just to sort of smooth the skin cells down, to even like impart like skin soothing benefits, especially if you have redness or rosacea, etc. But you need something heavier. You need something that creates that barrier for transepidermal water loss, something to lock in the water into your skin. And this was a really good one. It was so thick though and difficult to spread that sometimes what I would do is pour in just a little bit of like jojoba oil or almond oil just to give it some slip in my hand so that it would melt, especially in winter when it's so hard in the jar. But I really like the scent of it. It also has rose hip seed oil and rose clay, and I really enjoyed this. So I will be purchasing it again. I purchased mine from thrive.com. and I will link it down below. This is GMO free, cruelty free. If those kinds of things are important to you, this is a really good moisturizer to check out. So another empty is the Neutrogena Visibly Even Daily Moisturizer with Sunscreen. This is SPF 30 broad spectrum with Helioplex, which is sort of the patented term for Neutrogena's ingredient complex to give you both UVA and UVB protection. As we know, UVA rays are basically the ones you want to worry about with aging. I remember aging, as well as skin cancer. They're the rays that penetrate deeper into the layers of the skin. They're the rays you have to worry about all the time, even on cloudy days. I cannot tell you how many people tell me they don't use sunscreen all throughout winter. I'm like, do you not see the light in the sky? Those are rays. Those are actual like UV radiation coming through. UVB rays are the rays we worry about more when we talk about sunburn. However, you really need to protect against both. This is a chemical sunscreen, meaning that all of the filters are chemical ones. They are not physical barriers like zinc oxide or titanium dioxide. The advantage of a chemical sunscreen is generally that their finish is really like smooth. They go on really well under makeup. You don't have any kind of white cast because you don't have that zinc oxide or titanium dioxide in there. The main ingredient in this one is avobenzone, homosalate, octisalate, octocrylene, oxybenzone. All effective ingredients. I do not believe, and these are reef safe, so you can't wear them in Hawaii. I really like this one. This one had an essential soy complex to apparently fight hyperpigmentation and everything. I haven't found that to be the case. I've used this for a couple months now and I didn't really see too many results. That being said, I really like the finish. I love the small packaging. It's the one that I keep in my purse for reapplication throughout the day. It has a really nice finish. I have sensitive skin, no irritation from this chemical formulation, and I do recommend it. It's a little bit pricey for the amount that you get. I believe it is 1.7 fluid ounces, but it's a drugstore sunscreen that I would recommend. I think it is a really solid pick. I do not recommend wearing sunscreens under SPF 30. I think it is pointless. Most people don't wear enough sunscreen on their face. When you don't put enough on, the SPF value could be reduced by half or more, which means that given the amount of sunscreen most people put on their face, they're probably getting SPF 7 or so out of a SPF 15. At least if you're trying to use sunscreen, go with a higher SPF so that even if you don't apply enough, you're getting a higher amount of protection. So I do recommend this one. Another little empty is this product by All Good. This is a handcrafted healing balm. This is also a calendula balm. Basically, it is based on olive oil, calendula, comfrey, plantain, lavender, yarrow, vitamin E, and lavender essential oil. All ingredients which are really nice, except for the lavender essential oil. I would try to stay away from fragrance and skincare, even if it is a natural fragrance. This was a really thick emollient balm. I used it on my burned skin as well. I thought it was a good place to start before I got anything else. And so I finished it off. I call this magic balm to my kids because it comes in this cunning little jar. And whenever they have any kind of little injury or rash or boo-boo, I would ask them to run and get the magic jar, and then we would put a little bit on there. I think it is really well formulated. It has really nice ingredients. We had no irritation whatsoever in any of our family members from using this. And I thought it did a really good job of being a skin soother actually when you had little skin rashes or skin irritation. So I do recommend it. It's a little bit pricey for the contents, but if I had not been burned, this would have lasted a very long time. And I liked it. It was a really pleasant, balmy kind of product to use. Another empty that I have is the vitamin D drops that I had mentioned earlier. I will just reiterate everything I said for the vitamin B7 drops, the Biotin drops, because for me, having it present where I brush my teeth makes me actually use my vitamin D drops, which is the main factor for me in using drops. Why take vitamin D to begin with? There are a lot of people who are deficient in vitamin D, especially women in this country. Sometimes it's because we don't get enough sun exposure to formulate our own vitamin D. Sometimes it's because we are not actually just producing enough vitamin D on our own, regardless of the amount of sun exposure we have. This has 2,000 international units per drop, and I would just basically take about 5 drops or so because I have been deficient in vitamin D in the past. I've had blood tests to show that. Vitamin D deficiency can be associated with a whole host of different conditions, ranging from depression all the way to skin and hair and nail changes and things like that. So it's a good thing to check out with your physician to see whether you are deficient or not. Like any other vitamin supplement I talk about on this channel, you should really be responsible and talk to your medical care professional before taking any advice from any YouTube channel. But I have found great benefit from this. Since I have rechecked my vitamin D levels, they have normalized since using this. So this is just a regular part of my routine now. So my last product empty is this perfume by Clean from Whitewoods, and it's a small little sample bottle. Of the samples that I got, this was my favorite of the Clean scents. It's a very woodsy, like very peaceful scent. It's a good scent. It's a good scent for winter or for fall because it has that really nice, clean, woodsy scent without being too masculine. Though it is light enough that I think it could be called unisex. My husband really liked it. I would use it a lot when, I don't know why I keep dropping this. I would use it a lot at night on like a post-shower like hair day 3 day where my hair was kind of getting, you know, where you're like, I wonder what my hair smells like. I would kind of spray it in there and it had this nice refreshing kind of scent. So I recommend it. It was a nice perfume. I don't think I will be repurchasing it. It wasn't one of my favorites, but it's a nice woodsy scent if you like that type of thing. So those were my product empties, you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. As always, I value your time. Thank you for spending it with me, and I hope you have a great day.